You didn't wait long to come in here, did you? I just sat down. What's going on, Boo? What you doing? You being a good boy? You being a good boy? Oh, he's gonna climb on. It's a good thing I'm wearing layers because you got big time nails. Alright, so bunch of videos to do. Let's start. Oh, easy, bro. You just got a little too low. Ewa, I hope I'm saying your name right. E-W-A, Ewa. Difference between consciousness and enlightenment. Well, I'm no expert on anything. I'm just sharing. Me personally, I try not to grab on to... I mean, I do, obviously, we can't live in this world and not have concepts, but... or use any labels, etc. It's just impossible. But it does behoove us to benefit us to not grab tight to those, I feel. So it definitely does me. So I try not to grab on anything too tight. So I don't have a lot of detailed philosophical ideas, at least not elaborate ones, on topics like this. Off the top of my head, I'll just say, so the difference between consciousness and enlightenment. Well, consciousness already exists. I mean, that is what all of this is, I feel. And, you know, that's what spirituality's been pointing at forever. And even with modern religions and science, and even if you look at, you know, the modern sciences and science and spirituality, we're seeing that the gap is closing quickly. We're seeing more scientists becoming spiritual just based on their discoveries. And that is, there's something behind all of this. There's a pattern in everything, and none of this is an accident, and it's absolutely magical. And when we slip from our amnesia and we really feel centered and connected, we see that magic. But a lot of time, especially collectively, we're closed off and we miss it. But it's there. The magic is everywhere. Something amazing is happening here. Way more beyond what we really give credit or give attention to. And so behind all of it is consciousness. I like to think of it as consciousness separating itself into trillions of pieces to explore itself, discover itself, and then return to itself. So that, to me anyways, is consciousness. Are we always tapped into it? Well, we're always connected to it. That is what this is all coming from. Source, consciousness, love. Some people like to call it God, whatever you want to call it. And so it's always there. Now, enlightenment would be more of, I think collectively we would agree, it's more of, at least considered, more of an achievement in the sense that enlightenment, to become enlightened on something, to become aware or become knowledgeable or learn something. So enlightenment, I wouldn't say consciousness and enlightenment are really the same thing at all, for me anyways, but again, it doesn't really matter. I don't play in these things. It doesn't matter that much to me. But they're, you know, if you're exploring them, by all means, explore. We all explore in our own ways. There's no right or wrong. There's just, you know, I'm just expressing my way. But if part of your spiritual journey and path is to look into things like this, then by all means. And thus, I'm going to answer your question the best I can. So, to me, they're kind of like two different things. Not related in the same area, but two different things, and not necessarily one or the other. Again, consciousness, I think, is just, you know, I don't think we become conscious. We already are conscious. But we can become enlightened or more aware of this and of ourselves and where we are. So that's what I would say the difference really is. Consciousness is the state at all times. That is what is. That's why when you return to stillness, locate yourself, that's consciousness. When you clear your mind and there's no thoughts going through your head, and you get to that state, whether it's meditation or walking in nature, or doing the dishes, or doing sports, or creativity, whatever you're doing, when you get in those moments where you're literally not thinking anything, maybe you're just staring at shadows or just staring off into space, and there's no thoughts going on, and you're relaxed and peaceful, well, there's no thoughts, so you've located yourself. That's what's behind everything. Because thoughts come and go, and then even when they stop, you're still there. We know the body's not who you really are. The body's changed a million times over since you were an infant. The cells literally have replaced themselves a million times over. So you're not the mind, you're not the body. So what's always there? How do you locate yourself? In stillness. And that's consciousness. That's being aware of consciousness, because you're aware. You're aware even though you're not thinking, that you're sitting there staring at shadows, and that you're breathing. You're aware. So I hope I answered your question. To me, the difference is consciousness is what's behind it all. And enlightenment is when, it's not something, I mean, it's really just a term, but I mean, it really just means we're always reaching enlightenment, all of us. When you become enlightened on anything, you've just become enlightened. You've just ascend, or you've learned something through growth, you've ascended it. So we're always being aware and growing and ascending and being enlightened and awakened. It never ends. It started when we were born, and it continues. We go deeper into it, a lot of us, as we get older, as we proceed, especially with the shifting happening globally. It's happening earlier on, you know. It's great to see so many youth embracing spirituality and self-exploration. So that's to me, but you know, really find your own answers to that, of course. But if any of this resonates, great. I'm sure you could find lots of information, a lot of other sharings of other people's perceptions of this. But definitely explore it yourself. And yeah. Love and light. Oh, and thank you for the question. Love you.